What's up, everybody? Happy first day of playoffs. I am one of your hosts, Kynan. I am joined by another host, Jeff, on yet another episode of the Extra Attacker podcast. The regular season's over. Game 82s have all completed, and today is the beginning of Game 83.
Ow. Dude, my eye is super itchy, so
That's going to make watching the playoffs very hard.
it is.
So-
It is. It's gonna be make watching this episode for our viewers very hard because I'm gonna be like, yeah, and like Alexander
Yes,
Ovechkin and
precious.
stuff.
Yes, precious. Yes.
It's gonna be fun. But anyway, yes, regular season's over. Playoffs start today's Saturday. Yeah, playoffs start today.
Yep.
Like, what is it? 2 games? 3 games today? I don't remember.
Pretty sure it's 3.
I can't remember things.
it's
I think it's 3.
2.
It's just
It
2,
is
yeah.
2. It is
Yeah,
the
tomorrow.
Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche against the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets.
Almost. Imagine if it was though. 4 teams, 2v2.
Yes. Well, it's more versus and competing for your attention.
I see.
But they do stagger them, so you can usually watch it all. But lots of hockey. Lots of good. This is where it gets good.
It's true.
Because
It's true.
everything that's just happened over the last 6 months now matters zero. Nada. Zip. Anything can happen. Anyone can win.
I will agree
Except
with
for a
that
couple
portion.
teams. Except for a couple teams. There are a couple teams that have no chance. But we pretend
Oh,
like
that's
they do.
interesting.
We
Okay.
pretend like
Last
they
night
do.
you were telling me I was crazy for thinking there were teams that were bad and had no chance. So
Well, of winning the cup, but of winning their first round series.
before we start though, we do have an important announcement that needs to be made. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
I did. I did it.
It only
It is
took an
going-
11-game losing streak to make it happen, to make it real, to make it possible. But yes, your prediction of the San Jose Sharks getting less than 21 wins.
See, you say an 11-game win streak was required as if that's a slight against me. That's a slight
11-game
against
losing streak.
them. And yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I took the under because I knew they were going to go on that bad of a losing streak at least 3 times throughout the season. So if
Yeah,
anything,
but-
that just makes me look more smart.
But for them to get to 20 wins with 11 games left, you were sweating.
I was.
You weren't like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. No, it's gonna happen. You're like,
I was confident and sweating at the same time.
okay.
I mean, you can look at however you want. But the fact remains, Vegas, hire me.
I thought you didn't like Vegas. The
said that?
Vegas LTIRs. I thought you didn't like them. I'm just messing. I'm just playing.
You are on one today.
Word.
I hate you so much. Hey,
All right.
what news do we have this week?
Well, we have the triumphant return of the long-awaited Gabriel Landeskog, the Capitan of the Colorado Avalanche. Oh, captain, their captain. He
I
returns.
will be honest. I as much as they've been saying for the last 2 years since his injury that he'll be coming back and he's working on it, I honestly didn't expect that he would be back. You know,
No.
after a certain amount of time rehabbing an injury, it's like, okay, at this point, why don't we just hang him up? Let's just admit that it's kind of over.
That's
No,
why he's the captain. man.
apparently he's coming back.
That's why he's
So-
the captain. That's why they never took the C away. Why they
Yep.
never gave it to Nate Dogg.
Yep.
Because this man
Yep.
is we call him Nate Dogg, but this man's the real one with that dog in him, though.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
It's more like
So,
Nate Cat at this point compared to
not
this guy.
confirmed yet. The head coach Jared Bednar says he is, quote, an option. What that means, nobody knows.
Well, that's
It's
just the
likely we
NHL.
will see him. But
Politicians give you more clear and direct answers than NHL
it's true.
interviewees.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Which is saying something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's super exciting. Hopefully, he gets to actually play a little bit.
Yep.
But-
Avs fans, it's been a long time coming. It's a big one for you. Should be exciting. Hopefully, y'all are excited. Something good happening. They're looking kind of scary. Not gonna lie.
They are and they aren't to me.
Yeah.
I've
They're
got concerns.
Yeah. We'll
I've
get
got
into
questions.
Coming
People are really hyping them up, but I think they're getting a little overvalued. But yeah, we'll talk about it.
You would never say that, but that's what they say.
I would
David
never
Stewart
say that.
Announces his retirement.
Which I would also never say, but it's true.
Yes. The Habs are in the playoffs, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to play through the playoffs." And then after that, I'm done.
Then after that, adios, muchachos.
Yep. So
Getting out of
unfortunately,
Frenchy town.
one of my good for him, good for the league. Anytime Montreal takes a hit, it's good for everybody.
It's actually not. Fun fact for the league, but
the unfortunate. Well, I don't care about the league. I'm talking about the fan base. Should have said that. The league can eat me.
I mean, Montreal has arguably the best fan base in the league.
Okay. I'm not talking about Montreal's fan base. I'm talking about the rest of the league's fan base. We're all happy when Montreal gets taken shots. Anyway, like I was saying,
I don't
everybody
know
else.
if I can agree. Boston, it's good for Boston fans. That I can get on board with. You think people in Florida care about Montreal? Think they give a darn? They give a hoot. Think the San Jose core is like, oh, Montreal lost a game. Oh, joyous day.
So like I was saying, good for everybody else. Bad for me fantasy-wise.
Yeah.
David Bard has always been one of the defensemen that I like to go pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Very good fantasy. So that's going to suck for me going forward.
Blocks those shots, maybe.
Yep. But overall, a win for the league, a win for everybody else. Screw Montreal.
Screw them. I mean, yeah.
What else we got?
We
got playoffs to talk about. So yeah, we're kind of rushing through some of the headlines.
Yeah. If you care about the Hart Trophy, the favorites are McKinnon, Draisaitl, Hellebuck, with the dark horse of Kucherov, who won his second straight Art Ross Trophy because he didn't get hurt. So good for him. Third of his career, so he's good. But here's the thing, though. You know, like, what I find fascinating about Kucherov, I don't see that many Kucherov highlights. Like his point totals are kind of quiet because he's not pulling off all these highlight reel plays that I'm seeing all the time. Yeah. Like you don't see all these posts like, watch this highlight reel of Kucherov, or here's what an amazing play by Nikita Kucherov.
A couple here and there, but nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Like he's got, sometimes this elite saucer passes that are incredible, but like you're like McKinnon. You see his stuff where he's barreling through a bunch of people. McDavid zippity doo dying his way through a million defenders. Where's the Kucherov highlights package? I just it kind of surprises me. Yeah.
No, I can agree with that. I mean, for me, I think that's almost a good thing. I mean, obviously, we all like the highlight reel, but ever since I was a little kid, I was just raised, especially playing sports. It's like, just shut up and let your game talk for you. And as long as you're consistent and you're doing the right thing, you don't need to go out of your way to make the highlight reel. Just do what you're supposed to do, play fundamentals, and you'll be successful. And so I can always respect a guy that doesn't get the attention that he deserves, maybe from the highlight reels or from the replay shows and all that. Maybe doesn't get that kind of attention, but still helps his team to win. Still is leading. What that two straight Art Ross, 3 in the last 4 years, I think it was. I can respect a guy like that.
I feel like it's. I don't think it's been 3 in the last 4 years. I feel like there was a bit of a gap. I thought his first one
overall,
came in like.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's like trying to remember my history, but I'm like, nah. But maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought his first one came in like 2018 or 2019 or something. That's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He still has 3.
It's true. Yeah, I can respect a guy like that.
Yeah.
It does a lot of good.
And he kind of came out of nowhere too. Like it was McKinnon and Draisaitl for so long. Kucherov was pretty far behind, but in the last quarter of the season, he just kind of shot up and then was able to pass McKinnon, who finished with 116. Draisaitl got hurt, and so it was kind of stuck at 106. Pasternak made a push and was one of the best people in the turn of the new year.
Yeah. Well, I think I told you last week when I heard it, but Kucherov has more 3-point games this year than 0-point games, which not only is disgusting in and of itself, but yeah, that'll help him make that late season push to get up there and lead the league in points. So that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure there's a stat like that for Gretzky too, where he has throughout his career more. I think it was 4-point games than 0-point games, or at least 3-point games and 0-point games throughout his whole career. And I go,
yeah, that's gross.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
But anyway, is there anything else that you can think of highlight-wise? Headlines. Important things before we get into breaking down the playoff bracket here.
In the last game of the season for the Caps and the Penguins, Crosby and Ovechkin each scored a goal in that game against each other. It was like their 97th or 98th game playing. Next year, since they're both not retiring, they will hit, combined between regular season and playoffs, 100 games played against each other. So that I figured was a pretty cool stat.
That is. I'm a little upset though that if you're saying that was 97 or 98, if that was the 99th game to wrap up the season in which Ovechkin passes Wayne Gretzky for the all-time goals lead, that would have just been poetic.
Well, it would have been poetic. Yeah, it would have. Yeah, even more so if he'd scored the goal to pass him in such a game. But
okay.
You can't have too many. You can't have too many poetic parts because then it's just too much. You know.
Then it's just a collection of poems.
Yeah, and who reads poems anyway?
Everybody.
Oh. Well, good for everybody.
Let's bring up that bracket.
I don't read poems because I'm not a sissy.
Do you read?
No.
That would do it.
Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. Okay. Where it is? Okay, everybody. This is your 2025 NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs 2025 bracket, where we've got the Winnipeg Jets against St. Louis Blues, Dallas Stars against the Avs, Golden Knights against the Wild, Oilers against the Kings, Caps against Habs.
You've never seen that before.
Yeah. What? That's crazy. Capitals against the Habs, Canes against the Devils, Panthers against the Lightning. That's the Eastern Conference Final right there. And basically, and Leafs against Senators. So, let's break it down, Jeff. Where do you want us to begin?
Well, I want to begin. Let's just start at the top right here. Let's go with Washington and the Habs. Because I want to officially pass a motion that we remove the Habs from the playoff bracket. And in their place, we put the Penguins. so that we can have game number 99 happen this season that he breaks the record.
See, the problem is the Penguins would have to earn that spot, and they frankly sucked. They were
you're not
hot
wrong.
garbage. This is
Yeah, they were
wrong
bad.
year. This
And by bad we mean like bad.
Yeah, they were hot garbage. Let's take a look here.
Yeah.
80 points, 34 wins, minus 50 goal differential.
Which, to be fair, they started off a lot worse than that. They kind of climbed a little bit as the season went on.
They were barely better than Buffalo.
Yeah. But Buffalo is the greatest garbage time team of all time. Once they're eliminated from the playoffs, then they get really good.
Well, yeah, look, I love these goal differentials. You got the Islanders at negative 36, Penguins at negative 50, Bruins at negative 50, Flyers at negative 48, but Buffalo, minus 20. But none of these guys are in the playoffs. So back.
Canadians made the playoffs at minus 20. That's interesting.
It's true. But that's because I guess when they win, they must have barely won, and when they lost,
they
really lost.
Yeah.
But they've got a lot of potential. They've got likely the Calder Trophy winner in Lane Hudson.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Like I think you'd like Dustin Wolf. If Calgary had made the playoffs, I think you'd have more of an argument. But they just couldn't quite make it. Dustin Wolf's definitely going to be a finalist. Celebrini, dynamite player, absolutely fantastic. But the impact that he had on his team versus the impact Lane Hudson had on his team, and what Lane Hudson did as a defenseman, like the guy.
I mean, that's fair.
The guy had
as a defenseman, as a rookie.
Yeah, he's first in rookie scoring. That's there's no way around it. Yeah, where is it?
With Celebrini and Michkov tied at 63, right behind him.
Yeah, but the dude's a defenseman.
Yeah.
And if we look at his stats here, on a team that's minus 20 as a rookie defenseman, he's a minus 2.
Yep.
That's pretty good. And he's playing lots of minutes. Like he's playing top pairing minutes at the age of 21, and he's 5'9". He's not a big guy.
Small boy,
but he's getting it done. He gets it done.
5'9".
That's as tall as me. That's
like
my height.
6th grade for me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's more than a foot shorter than you, but
that's wild.
That's my height. And totally my weight. Well, everyone's short next to you, okay?
It's true. That's what
my dad's 5'6", my mom's 5'4". What do you want from me, okay?
Yeah. I forget that too. Like I often forget how short your parents are.
Yeah. Like this guy proves I could have made it. I could have been a Calder Trophy winner.
Oh yeah. Why weren't you?
Anyway, we're back to the playoff brackets. Anyway, but Capitals versus Montreal. So, Jeff, what happened this season between the two teams? How did their season series go?
Between the two teams? Let's take a look. They played 3 games. Washington beat them in the season series 2-1. Now, before we get too deep into this, I do want to point out, yes, the playoffs are a new thing. Yes, anything can happen. However, we get a lot of people, including just a couple minutes ago, Kynan mentioned it. The regular season doesn't matter. It's all zero. None of it. It does matter. This is where I like to push back on a lot of people. What they mean by that usually is, anything can happen. It's a brand new ball game. Okay, great. That's all true. Both teams are going to step it up, but the trends and what happens in the regular season absolutely matters. Washington 2-1 over Montreal. That's pretty close to 50-50. Those teams were pretty decently matched. However, both Washington wins were by many goals. The last game was a 1-goal win by Montreal.
So, counterpoint. Last year, Edmonton and Vancouver. Vancouver swept the season series 4-0 against Edmonton, and even in the first game between the two teams, beat them 8-1.
Mm-hmm.
But then Edmonton won the series against Vancouver.
Yes. As I said, yes, anything can happen, but these stats are not meaningless. You can always
Okay.
go against the grain. You can always go against the
Okay.
stat. But
That's
you do have to look at the trends.
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. You can
I mean,
look
it's
at the
one of those
trends.
things. Yeah, it's one of those things that I think the best way to describe it. A buddy and I were talking a couple weeks ago about it. Once Utah, we lost. It was like 8-0 or something stupid against Seattle, and then we came back and
Seattle.
destroyed Winnipeg. And he's sitting there. How could we lose to such a bad team and then beat Winnipeg? We have to understand. Yes, Winnipeg's a better team, but it very well could be as simple as the style of hockey that we play matches up better against Winnipeg's style than against Seattle's style.
That's a very good point.
And so, yeah, we beat them real bad in the season series. I think had we made the playoffs, we would have had a better chance against a Winnipeg than we would have against a Dallas, than we would have against an Edmonton. Not necessarily saying that Winnipeg's a worse team than those two teams, but just because we matched up better against them. And so that's
What?
why I think it's very important to look at some of those matchups, look at some of those trends. Yes,
Yeah.
again, you can buck the trend, but they're not meaningless.
Sure. And which is a good thing too that you say that, because had Utah made the playoffs, they probably would have been playing Winnipeg. So
Probably.
yeah.
Probably. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, but then St. Louis is like, nah, fam, we're going on an 11 game here.
St. Louis. Ugh.
They're making you
Gross.
sing the blues, that's for sure. But
That was terrible. It was
yeah,
so good.
but
Bad.
the Capitals have everything's gone so right for the Capitals this season, and Montreal's had to put in so much work and really grind it out and dig in and do so much more to earn where they're at. They've got such a dogged and devoted fan base that that when they're at home, that's going to be so incredibly difficult for Washington to play in. This is not going to be a cakewalk for the Capitals. They're not built to just walk over a team like Winnipeg, in my opinion.
No.
I could see the Habs taking it. It was in my bracket. I did take the Capitals, but it was very hard for me because I really think Montreal could win this series.
This is probably the series I'm most sure about. I don't believe in either team long term.
No.
But in this very well could be just the Boston fan in me biased against the Habs, but as good as they are, as much talent as they have, I think they're just too young at this point. And like you said, they had to fight and scrap and claw their way into this. I'm not sure how much they're going to have left in the tank.
Well, they're
That's
young.
really
so
my big concern.
They're young. They've got plenty.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So I too took Washington, not because I think Washington is a team that I believe in, but because I just believe in the Habs less.
That's fair.
But that's just me. But if they win, it's going to be, like you say, it's going to be because of that youth. It's going to be because of a lot of it. A big thing too is we put a lot of emphasis on playoff experience. I think a lot of times we undervalue going into it with no expectations. You know, we've never been here before. We don't know what it's like. Let's just go out there and have some fun. Let's just play our game. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what the pressure that we should be putting on ourselves. Let's just go out there and play some hockey. I think that's a very underrated thing in some of these inexperienced players and inexperienced teams.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Yeah. Could happen. Could happen. And now I'm looking, and as I say, I think that's the one I'm most sure about. This is The next one is one of the ones that I'm most unsure about. Carolina, New Jersey.
You're unsure about this one.
I think they're both trash. I
Hot
think Carolina
take.
wins it, but I think they're both trash.
I
I don't believe in either team. Both of them have limped the last month and a half. I think Carolina wins it purely because the Devils have a couple more big injuries.
Yeah. No, Carolina's been a little bad the last 10 games, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think I've always been a big believer in the Canes. I do think they've had some underrated some underperforming playoffs the last few years, but they've made some changes this year, and I think here's the thing. I think the Canes are a very good team, and so I disagree on this. I'm so sure about this series because the Devils will not have Jack Hughes.
Yeah,
they cannot win a playoff series without Jack Hughes. They've got a lot of good players, but it's such a blow to their team that I don't see it. It would have to be Markstrom stealing the series for the Devils in an unreal fashion for the Devils to win. That's the only path to victory I see. Carolina's just got the depth, they've got the skill, and they're on a clock, because the thing is, with their underperformance over the past few years, if they do that again this year, there's going to be major changes in Carolina. So they have that pressure that they have to make something happen this year. Otherwise, stuff's going to go down in Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, they tried to make some big changes. The Rantanen thing just didn't work out. He wasn't a good fit there. I just don't know where they go from here. I mean, I hate using the term cup or bust, but I kind of feel like for them it's cup or we're just gonna blow this team up because we got to make some wholesale changes.
I think it's conference final. I think they have to get to the conference final to avoid it.
Okay.
But we'll see.
I mean, in our scenario here, they don't. I mean, they have a good chance of beating Washington, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Florida, Tampa, the Florida Bowl.
The Eastern Conference Final, a.k.a. the Battle of Florida, a.k.a. whoever wins this is making it to the Cup Final. Unless they absolutely kill each other and there's nothing left after the series, which I feel like that it could happen. But
Tampa Bay, because Florida is trash and there is no redeeming qualities about that team.
Wow, what a way to talk about your boy Marchand.
I hope Marchand gets taken out. Break his femur. No, don't do that.
Oh, how the turntables have turned.
No, I miss Marchie. It wasn't his fault, but I hope that team gets swept and they get embarrassed and there's just nothing for them.
Well, with Chucker coming back.
Yeah. I think that's going to be one of the big keys to that series. He's coming back. Is he going to be back to form, or is he going to take some time to kind of ease back into things? And I think that is going to be one of the big deciding factors in that series.
He'll be right back into it. Like, this is
very well could.
The Florida. It's the Florida Rats now. You got to change the logo. You can't be the Panthers anymore. You're the Rats. It's you got Bennett, you got Tkachuk, you got Marchand. Like, what?
Well, and Bennett's still gone for the first 2 games of the series too.
Is he hurt or what?
Yeah.
No, I thought he was back.
It's still serving as suspension.
He got suspended for what?
Yeah,
I didn't hear about this.
It might have been somebody else. I thought it was Bennett. Who was it? Now I feel like an idiot.
No. I didn't hear about any suspension, so I didn't know there was a player suspended. You're not. I am the ignorant one here. Educate my brain.
No, sorry, that was Ekblad.
Oh yes, the okay. Yeah, I was like,
Yep.
the performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the PED.
yeah. Which I mean, that is one of your better defensemen, so that is a blow. But at the same time,
It's not the. I don't think that's going to tip the series, but it could tip a game. Could tip a couple goals here
but
and there. So
they
it's
went and
definitely
got.
going to have an effect.
But because of it, they're able to go and get Seth Jones. So really, it was planned.
Yeah. Yeah, the one time we thought something good was finally happening for mankind.
Nope, it was just an opportunity. Florida was like, "It's okay, Ekblad. You take the special medicine."
In fact, here's
If
another
they
needle,
if they catch you, we just get more players.
which I think is ridiculous. I'm okay with conceptually, like, hey, half your roster's injured, you should be able to go out and get more players, like circumventing the cap. Like, I'm okay with all that. I don't like the way it turns out sometimes, but
The legal loophole, yeah.
yeah, but I think it's a fair thing to implement. But suspension because of PEDs, I think you have to eat that cap space. I don't think you deserve to go get another player because that was something that could have been easily avoided by not cheating.
I mean, he
Straight
wasn't
up.
intentionally cheating.
I
It
don't care if
was
it was
an
intentional or not.
honest
You took something you
mistake.
shouldn't have taken,
Yes. However,
right?
why should the rest of his team have to suffer for his stupidity?
Because that's called a team sport. Why should his team now be rewarded and go get an extra player not only an extra really good player, but an extra player they wouldn't have been able to get for his stupidity? Why should they be rewarded for that?
One might say that it's not a reward, it's a way to handle the hit to you where you
In which
lost
case,
your good player.
when he comes back, then Seth Jones gets dropped off the team. If we're gonna use that logic,
You could make a case for that. I do think it would. There's got to be some kind of cap implementation for the playoffs because it's these exact situation. Why is it okay to be over the cap in the playoffs and not in the regular season?
mm-hmm. Yep.
There's
Because at this point, why not just everybody start getting popped for PEDs 18 games, 16 games before the playoffs? So you can go get somebody else in free agency, go get somebody else at the trade deadline. Now all of a sudden we've got a stockpile of players heading into the playoffs.
I think
Everybody's going to
putting
do it.
people on LTIR would be a more less risky way of doing that because you don't want to be putting things into your players' bodies that you shouldn't. But
yeah, that's the principle of it.
yeah. Anyway, well,
But,
we'll see Florida in the finals again.
no, I don't think we will. I genuinely don't actually. Is putting aside my Florida hate, I do think Tampa actually. I think they're pissed because of the last couple of years, especially last year playing them in the first round. They are not happy.
We'll see.
So, yeah.
I
Second year in a row, they meet in round one. Third time in the last 4 years, they split the regular season series 2-2. I mean, it really doesn't get much more balanced than that. But both teams made some improvements. I think Florida made had a lot more losses in the offseason than Tampa did. I think those first two games with Ekblad being gone, I think that's going to set the tone.
You got to set the tone, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, Ekblad being gone and Kachuk coming back, it's going to set the tone. So,
they hate each other.
But I'm taking Tampa in that one.
Okay, I'm taking Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll for our graphic here, we'll put your pick.
Okay.
Just because I want to keep things civil here. I don't want to. Nobody's needs to be dropping the gloves right now. Okay.
No. No, not at least until you come into the right country. Toronto, Ottawa. Now, I think this.
Speaking
I'm
of
just
the
taking
right country, the Battle of
I'm taking a
Ontario.
quick look here. This may be the one that we disagree with most from the little bit that we've talked about it.
Which I don't
Think-
understand. It's Toronto.
And that's the hard part for me. This is very similar to the Washington series, where if Washington was playing literally any other team in the playoffs, I'd have them out first round. And that's how I feel about Toronto. I'm willing to admit I'm sleeping on Ottawa. I just don't really have faith in them. I don't know how they made it this far. I mean, to be fair, I also didn't expect Winnipeg to be the best team in the league and win the President's Trophy. So there's that.
The disrespect to
But-
Canadian teams right now, I'm ready to get up and walk away. I'm ready to get up and walk away. You got Linus Allmark on the Ottawa Senators. You got Brady Tkachuk. You got Tim Stützle. You got whatever the name of their couple really good defensemen are that I can't remember off the top of my head. You got these great players that are finally. Ottawa's been so close to breaking through for so long, and they finally did it this year. And they've got the heart, they got the drive, and they've got Toronto. They've got the fuel to burn their engines to max, to just absolutely annihilate. What better motivation for Ottawa in their finally returning to the playoffs than to get to feast on the Leafs?
I mean, that could be said for the Leafs too. They're playing their provincial rivals, so that's a wash. They both have that.
I feel like there's a big old rivalry for the Leafs with Boston.
Oh yeah,
And-
and if it was Boston against Toronto, I don't even care how bad Boston is that this year. Boston wins that series. I mean, Boston is just Toronto's daddy. But-
Ottawa was way better than New Jersey, who got third in their division, and they were literally a win different than in points than Florida. And if there'd been, a game between Ottawa and Florida, one extra win for Ottawa, and they jump and pass them and are in third place.
Which would have been nice to see. Or one less overtime loss. That would have been nice to see as well.
Well, Florida actually has the tiebreaker, the first tiebreaker. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but if you take away an overtime loss and add a regulation win, tiebreaker don't matter at that point.
For Ottawa, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, that still would have put them at. Well, you take away an overtime loss and add it as a win. That only puts them to
Add a
98
regulation
points.
win? That puts them at 99.
No, because if you take away an overtime loss, that puts them down to 96. Add it as a win, that puts them to 98.
Oh, yeah. I can't math.
Yeah. If you took away a regulation loss, then you get what you're saying.
Math is hard, guys.
It is.
The number 2 is pretty big.
Numbers.
Number 2 is pretty big. It's hard to math.
Yeah.
2 + 2 is 4 quick maths.
Yeah. And like you said, what do you say? Ottawa won all 3 regular season matchups against Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay. They've had their number.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And like I said, I'm willing to admit I might be sleeping on Ottawa. But
Toronto chokes when it matters most.
it's true.
Just
It's true. And I hope that happens. Not only do I really enjoy seeing Toronto lose, I would love to see that team get blown up. Because we hear the rumors of it every year. Every time they choke, all these superstars, they're not working well together because they keep losing. Let's just ship them all at time. Do it.
they're not, but they're not going to.
I know.
Because
I
they
know.
sell too well. They're such good money makers.
Yep.
But
But the more drama, the better for us. It's more entertaining.
these people that have the Leafs going all the way, no. I'm sorry, Biz. I'm sorry, Coach Chippy. I'm sorry, everyone else who believes in the Leafs. even if they somehow managed to beat the Senators, it doesn't matter
Biz is
which
a clown.
person
Let's
wins.
be real here.
Well, yeah, he is, but it doesn't matter who wins the series. They're gonna lose to the Florida winner.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. At the
Yep.
end of the day, it doesn't matter. But
Yep.
Ottawa's winning this. I'm telling you, they care more.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that part.
Didn't one of your roommates say though that they've picked Toronto to go all the way? The bracket thing.
I'm gonna
that we did?
pull up
I'm
my
looking-
text now. I don't.
I'm looking quickly here. No, okay, none of them do. None of them do.
I was gonna say good.
That's respectable. No, you all
got the
have
furthest?
you all have Toronto beating Ottawa.
Toronto.
Yeah, everyone all your roommates and you have Toronto beating Ottawa. So that'll be a nice couple free points for me.
Yeah, if that happens, that's
2
that's a
points
big
I'll get that none of y'all
deal.
will.
Yeah, the Tampa and Florida series is pretty split down the middle. But all right, Oilers, LA.
Here, do you want to just quickly do our fun little thing for
Oh, are
the
we going
East
all the
side?
way? Yeah.
That's just,
Yeah. I mean, give me Carolina out of those two.
yeah, and then we know
Which,
what's,
yeah. I mean, I was just crapping all over Carolina, and none of what I said I disagree with. Obviously, I said it, but like, I just I don't know.
It's okay to disagree with yourself. You
Yeah.
can be of multiple minds. It's a free
I
country.
think this is a really weird playoffs for me because there's a couple of these series that are just going to be like really, really, really good, and then we have that entire corner there. Washington and Habs, I think, is trash. Canes and
They're
Devils, I
interesting
think, is
in that.
trash. Winner of either of those two is trash.
Yeah.
So all three of
this-
those series.
This
are
whole
just-
area is just kind of a
Yeah, that's the weak corner in my opinion.
yeah.
Oilers and Kings, 4th year in a row.
For Pete.
No, I
and
do hear
this-
some people saying LA's finally fed up and this is the year. It's
See-
hard for me to believe that about anything, but with
But-
that being said, I do think this is the best that LA has looked in quite a while.
Yes, they've got some better goaltending, but the thing is, they can't score. They don't score, and here's the thing: the Oilers, we don't know what they have because their team hasn't gotten to play together the whole season. But Evander Kane's coming back game 1. Trent Frederick, I believe, is likely coming back at game 1.
As what I saw yesterday, yep. The only big name that you guys are going to be missing is Ekholm.
Yeah.
He'll come back for the second series.
Jake Wellman's uncertain for game 1, but McDavid's back. Draisaitl's back. Nugent Hopkins is back. Nurse is back. Stuart Skinner's back. And since coming back from his concussion, Stuart Skinner's looked much better. He got the sense knocked
Maybe
into
that's
him.
what he
Thank
needed.
you, Mikko Rant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mikko Rantanen, for kneeing our goalie in the head and knocking his skill back into him. That was he wasn't sure how he was finding this year. But Oilers are going to have their good goaltending back, I believe. You can call me a delusional fan all you want in the comments. I don't care. It's I'm embracing the fact that I am what Toronto fans are when it comes to the Oilers, but I also acknowledge it, I accept it, and I am completely willing to accept my delusions as delusions. But we don't know what team the Oilers have.
Yeah.
So this could, because here's the thing, the trend. First year, Edmonton, LA played each other, went to 7. Second year, went to 6. Third year, went to 5. So if trends continue, it will be over in 4. I don't think that's the case, but
especially with the season series.
2 of those games you can't count, though.
Why?
because the Oilers in the final 2 games against the Kings had over $40 million in cap space out of the lineup.
Oh.
How can you count that? The LA Kings had everyone.
Here
They
it
had
is, Toronto
all their
fans.
players.
Jump in, Toronto. Jump in,
But-
Toronto fans.
But
Get him.
explain to me how that's a valid point for how to predict any kind of results when it's a completely
You could
different
say
team.
this about every one of these trends.
But it's a different team.
You could say that about every one of these trends. When the series went 7 games or 6 games, it was a different team. Like,
Yes. No, but I'm saying about when you look at the season series this year, you can't count the
I know.
last 2 games because it wasn't the actual
Even if,
team that the
let's
Kings
just take
will
away
be
those
playing.
last 2 games.
Yeah.
Kings, I'd have to double check, but I think the Kings still won the first 2, so they're still
No,
2-0
it was-
in the series.
No, they split the
Was it
first 2
1-1?
games of the season because the Kings won 3-0 or 4-0 and 5-0 in the final 2 games. It was a 4-0 and 5-0 win.
Yeah, 5-0, 3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, January Oilers only beat the Kings by 1-0, and then in December Kings beat the Oilers by 4-3.
Yeah. So in the 2 games where both teams actually had their teams playing,
Yeah.
it was very close, which is what we expect. That's what we expect this series to be, is very close, very tight battle. If the Oilers can actually have their team and be healthy, they have they have more top end talent, which gives them the edge long term. If the Oilers can't stay healthy, the Kings will have it.
Yeah, I am taking Edmonton. I do think they are the better team. I think this will be the hardest. It'll be the hardest. It doesn't necessarily mean it goes 7 games. I think it'll just be the hardest
I like that. Yeah.
out of the 4 that they've played. The counterpoint that I'll give to you when you're saying that LA can't score, sure. But Edmonton can't defend. So there's that.
I would disagree, but that's also biased.
I know you
so-
would. Yeah, very biased. But I'm not wearing this for nothing. I don't know if it's even getting in the camera, but yeah, there we go. I'm taking Edmonton.
Yep. Okay.
Vegas, Minnesota. The Marc-Andre Fleury Bowl.
Yeah.
It's funny how this worked out.
I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that's so true.
We got the Florida Bowl. We've got the Ottawa Bowl. We've got the Oilers versus LA Annual Bowl. We've got the Marc-Andre Fleury Bowl. I don't know that we
Oilers
really
Kings
need to go in
Classic.
depth with this. Minnesota started hot like they always do, and they literally spent 90% of the season declining. They're terrible. They almost didn't even get a wild card spot.
What's the over under on games Kirill Kaprizov will be healthy enough to play?
0.6. He'll get injured.
Okay, you got to give him at least 1 because we know he's playing in game 1, so you got to make it at least 1.6.
Okay, I mean we'll give it 1.5 games, sure, but
Yeah.
if he only plays
you
half a
taking the
game,
under
that
or the
only counts
over?
0.5.
No.
I'm not giving him a whole game for only playing half a game. That's like
On-
playing
on
2
the
innings and
score
getting a
sheet-
whole snow cone.
And the free snow cone at the end of the game. If you play, they only give you a free snow cone. Even if you play half game, you get the whole. I'd rather play half game. Still got the whole snow cone.
I'm so glad you picked up on that.
Oh, dude, that was
Anyway,
one of the first comedy
back
bits
to
I ever
the-
memorized.
back to what I was saying though, because we have all those, and then the next series here is the Mikko Rantanen Bowl.
The Mikko Rantanen Bowl.
So in a way, this is the best playoffs ever because of just how many meaningful bowls we've had.
So really, we actually have to have the Canes there so that we can have one of these two here and have the trifecta of the bowl complete because technically, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, anything else on on Vegas, Minnesota. Like,
Uh,
I have heard some people saying this is the weakest Vegas has looked in a couple of years. I don't
that
disagree,
they're wrong.
but
No,
I think that's
I think that's
overblown.
very wrong. I think that's very wrong.
I don't. I think 2 years ago when they won the cup, I think they just generally looked stronger. I think that's
Jack
way
Eichel's having
overblown,
a
though. Just to
career
say
year.
weakest is to say that they are a weak team, and I really don't. I still think they're one of the strongest teams,
I
especially coming out of the West.
I think they're looking just like they did in the year they won their cup.
And that's fair.
And just the thing is, nobody's talking about them. They're the most underrated team
Yeah,
because
very
there's so
quiet.
many other things going on. But Vegas, heck, they're doing so well that Mark Stone didn't even have to go on LTIR come at the deadline. Like he's been
True.
healthy all year, essentially.
It's true. Well,
He had
yeah,
like a couple weeks,
he took a month off, but
but
it
he
was
didn't
early.
even have to go on LTIR for that. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's actually gotten to be their captain. And Jack Eichel's having a career year. Their decor is big and tough and very scary. It's what we thought Boston's was going to be at the start of the year. But yeah, no, Vegas.
Want Zadorov, by the way?
What's that?
Said anybody want Zadorov, by the way? I'm ready to ship his cancer out of town.
Nope. But I do think that the second round in the West here, this is the real Western Conference final. If this is the matchup that happens, if LA wins, I don't think so. If Edmonton wins, I think so.
Okay.
But Dallas, Colorado, oh boy, this is the biggest coin flippy matchup to me out there. I don't know who to pick. Like
Okay.
this is wild, crazy thing. Because here's the thing.
No,
I think Dallas is better. You what? Sorry.
So the one we just talked about was wild.
Yeah, true. This one's insane. Then, this one's
you go.
crazy. This one's badonkers. This one's absolutely mind-boggling. Because Dallas is better a little bit because they've got the depth. They're more solid up and down the lineup. They do have the edge in goaltending. But they're now having injury problems. So is that going to be what kicks the can for them and gives Colorado the ability to pass them?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I do think Dallas is a very, very strong team, but with Heiskanen being out, Jason Robertson being out, those are huge.
Robertson might be back in time. We don't know yet. And Ottinger's been struggling over the last month.
Everything that I've heard, Robertson's out. He might come back, but problem.
That's terrible. Okay, that's
my problem. I just can't bet against Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon. And then when they go out and do things this year to make them better, like pick up Charlie Coyle, who's just been blowing up out there in Colorado. We went and got Marty Necas. They fixed their goaltending problems. I don't see a hole in Colorado's game.
I do. Their defense. They've got two good defensemen, and then the Avalanche are very top heavy. Their depth is what I've heard is questioned.
You're not wrong, but they've found a way to make it work, and that's the weird thing about it for me.
Sure, in the regular season, but like if they can get past the first round, if they can get past Dallas because of Dallas's injury problems, I don't know if they get past the second round. Like people are really hyping up the Colorado Avalanche, and I don't see it. I don't see it. I know, but I don't see it. I don't see all these people pegging them to win the cup.
For what it's worth, Colorado did win the season series 2-1.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm not saying Colorado can't win 2 games.
No, of course not.
Like this series goes at least 6 games for sure. But
yeah,
I don't.
I would agree with that. If it doesn't, it's going to be some fluky, stupid thing in Game 5 that ends up putting the series away. when we all thought it was going to go 6 games. Like this is going to be a slugfest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm taking Colorado in that. And I know on your bracket you took Dallas.
I did. I love Dallas.
Well,
I'm a big believer in Dallas.
Will this bracket let you put both of them in there?
No.
And do like the split?
No.
That would have been cool.
All right.
Winnipeg, St. Louis.
The Four Nations goalie rematch where Hellebuck is representing the Canadian team and Jordan Binnington is representing the American team. What?
I just
Wait, who went where to do what and accomplish the thing and how and
where am I?
where am I? What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing, folks?
What is the thing? And you know the thing. Anyway,
Winnipeg. But like, I don't know. You know how much not only do I hate, but I also just don't believe in Binnington for years now.
And then he stole the show in Four Nations.
Yeah, and that's his thing. He knows how to get out there and do really well and blow his load in a game or two and just way overperform. I just don't. I think he's got it out of his system at Four Nations. I don't know that he can do it again.
No, Binnington's not going to do it today. No. Not
Here's the problem with that.
He can steal a game, but he cannot steal a series.
Here's the problem with that. That's what we said in 2019. They ended up going all the way to the Cup and beating Boston in the Cup with Binnington as the rookie. That's what we said earlier this season when they were like almost dead last in the league. And then Boston decided to fire Jim Montgomery, send him over to St. Louis. They ended the year on like a 12-game win streak or something stupid like that, and they just shot up the standings.
There are shades of 2019.
Yeah.
But
so
I don't see
hard for me. I know. I agree with you. But I can't write them off like I've written off some of these other teams. I can't go that far with it.
I think the Habs have a better chance of beating Washington than the Blues have of beating Winnipeg.
Whoa.
That's me. That's my hot take.
I'd have to think about that a little bit.
That's my hot take, and it's an unpopular opinion. It's better than the takes Subban's had on the playoff power rankings crap. Don't even look those up because they're just rage bait. I'm sure. No. We're gonna keep talking about this. We've made the decision, but yeah, we're going Winnipeg, who won 3 out of 4 games against St. Louis this season.
What?
Yep. I told you not to look it up. I told you. Don't look. Close the window. Nope.
I disagree, but I'm okay with Vegas and Colorado being up there in those top few. He's got Vegas 1, Colorado 2.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a little high, but I'm okay with those being up there. Minnesota at 4 over LA, Dallas, and Edmonton last in the West?
Yeah, like I said, don't look it up because the man is rage bait. It's rage bait. Don't even.
Has to be.
Yeah. Subban's a funny man. I love the guy. But okay, look at this Western top 4 though. How sick is this top 4 that we have here? This is so nice, so beautiful, elegant, very demure, very mindful. Like how dangerous is this?
Yeah, one of those series is going to be good. The other one, I think, is going to be a rollover.
Which one do you think is going to be a rollover?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Is it this one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Again, I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong. But I have not been able to shake the gut feeling all year that Winnipeg is overperforming and they're going to come crashing down to reality.
This is the first year where I haven't thought that about them.
Yeah. And like I said, it's more of a gut feeling than anything else because they do have a very good team. I'm not taking that away from them. I don't know how long this can keep up. And who knows? Maybe they win the cup and make me look like an idiot. I will always claim that I'm not a complete idiot.
Well, they won the President's Trophy. They're not going to win the cup. No, you don't. You don't win both anymore. That just it's not a thing.
Because I'm so anti-Winnipeg, they're going to win it all. But I do think that the fairy tale comes to an end. I think Colorado's going to beat them.
Okay.
And it's less. I mean, again, I'm higher on Colorado than you are. I think it's less about Colorado being good and more about Winnipeg just.
You're higher on Colorado than I am. Higher.
Oh, because pot.
Yeah.
Took me a second. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Come on, right Denver. Come on, man. Get it together here.
Yeah. I'm also closer to Colorado, so there's that.
Closer to the Mile High City.
Yeah. Vegas and Edmonton.
Dude, I don't know. This one's what a matchup. Like you could you could take either team and you're going to be right. Like that's the thing. You're going to be right either way.
And that's the hard part about this series. I really do think you could take either team depending on who shows up and who doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why in my bracket, I gave the edge to Edmonton because at that point, I don't think you can realistically make a decision between the two. And so I just said, well, I hope it's Edmonton, so I'm going to give it to Edmonton. But could see it either way. I don't know how you make a objective decision in this series.
You can't. You just gotta go with your heart, and you gotta hope that the refs don't that the NHL doesn't rig fit for their golden boys, like they did a few years ago when they won the cup. I mean, what?
We got some salt.
Spaghetti-O.
We got some salt.
Yeah, this is 3 years ago. Oh no, 2 years ago. Sorry.
Colorado, Edmonton. If I had to guess, just from what I've been hearing from you, you believe in Colorado so little. I think this one's an easier decision to take Edmonton.
I mean, I want to take it again. This is the thing. With Edmonton being so uncertain as to what kind of team they're going to be able to field, anyone's got as much of a chance of winning against them as they do losing. So I don't like if we had to go objectively, we'd have to assume if we have to go based on purely what we've seen this year, by this point, the Oilers will not be healthy. That's the way it is. And so it will then be Colorado. Okay? If the Oilers can be healthy, I think it's a coin flip. I do want to give Edmonton the edge, but I'm too biased to be able to be like, oh, this is an objective thing. Like this is based purely on stats and metrics. And
so if Vegas beats Edmonton,
then it's
not
Vegas.
Edmonton. Okay.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I think.
Like Vegas, like the only people I see stopping Vegas are Edmonton, possibly stylistically Winnipeg, possibly.
Okay.
I could see a path there for Winnipeg, but I don't see Winnipeg getting past Colorado.
Yeah.
Most likely. I mean, I could, but yeah, no. If Vegas wins in the second, like this is what I'm saying for Vegas, this is their Western Conference final. They will make it to the finals if they get past Edmonton.
Yeah, I think whoever wins the Vegas Oilers series ends up taking that.
Yeah.
So.
And then, Tampa Bay's had too many cups. They shouldn't get one. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. I need it to happen. I want it to happen.
I think it's just between those two teams purely. I don't think McDavid and Draisaitl will be stopped again. What? You can do that? Okay.
Apparently, yeah, I double clicked on this and it sent it that way. That's funny. Oh, oh,
But it won't.
I'm so
Okay.
confused. That's
Anyway,
funky.
yeah, I just if they make it to the finals, I believe they will refuse to be stopped again. They will not fall short again.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and that's why I kind of want this instead. I want last year's rematch because that would be golden, and the Oilers would have home ice advantage against them this year because the Oilers did slightly better this time around. But
yeah.
if Florida makes it, they'll have home ice advantage. Whatever. I don't know. The thing is, this is such a biased dream when it could be, when it could very likely be, this scenario where Edmonton doesn't even make it past the first round.
I'm not saying that there is no bias, so I want to make that clear. But I don't think that it's necessarily biased to say we take Edmonton over LA because LA could win. There's a lot of series that either team could win.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't think that in particular is evidence of bias. I'm not saying that there isn't any. But I don't think taking LA is evidence of bias any more or any less than taking Carolina over New Jersey shows bias, you know? So I'm not worried about it too much. Is there bias? Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's going to be. I feel like we've done mostly a good job at trying to get rid of most of the bias in there, try to be as objective as possible. Again, I think this bracket could be completely wrong just because of how many coin flips there are. But I don't think we took any takes here that are completely wild and just out in the middle of nowhere. And I was just about to say, I don't think we take the Habs winning everything. That's just wild. That's not going to happen. Exactly. The amount of those that I've seen so far, I'm like, you people are delusional.
Wow. Okay. Like Montembeault ain't that good, fam. Like that's
No.
like this. This is more likely than that.
Yeah. And that's one of those things that, like, I would have to say, out of the teams that I'm low on, I think Washington's got probably the best chance out of the teams that I'm just don't believe in. Like those top four, the Toronto and Ottawa, Minnesota, every other team, it's like, okay, I can see how you've got a shot. Out of that grouping of teams that I just don't have faith in, I think Washington's probably got the best shot.
Yeah.
I'd probably say if Minnesota can stay healthy, I might put them at a number 2 behind Washington. But maybe I'd tie them 4-2 with Ottawa out of my crap tier. But
I think St. Louis has a better chance of winning than Minnesota does.
Okay, interesting.
In me humble opinion.
Interesting. I'm fully expecting St. Louis is gonna have the issue where again they just fought and fought. And they've already kind of shown their cards. But
all Binnington of them.
Oh, he's dumb.
So dumb.
Well, we do have 2 games today.
Yeah.
We add in tomorrow's games, then we have 5. So instead of a full slate of games on Saturday for a head-to-head, why don't we just go through those 5?
Okay.
We still got to go head-to-head.
You're just trying to catch up because I'm winning from the season. Oh, yeah, we can.
Are you, though?
Yes.
I haven't looked in a couple weeks.
I will give. So we can now give, based off of everything, all the results from across the season. I will read them out now. Heck, I'll even put them up here. Put them up here for our viewing pleasure. So, we have, at the end of the season, Kynan with 6 wins, 5 losses, and 4 ties.
No way.
Jeff with 5 wins, 6 losses, and 4 ties.
No way.
I went 103 correct and 87 wrong. You went 96 correct and 94 wrong. I
Week 15, we tied. Okay.
am the best.
Wrong. You're the second best. This still exists.
Well, I mean, if you'd been able to if you'd predicted you'd get under 100 correct guesses, then yeah. No, you do. You do get that. If we were tied, I'd give you that as the tiebreaker. But
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Set. Sun. Head to head. Okay, who's our first game, sir?
it is Winnipeg against St. Louis. In Winnipeg, game 1, round 1, 6 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern, 4 p.m. Mountain, 3 p.m. Pacific.
I might be able to catch some of that game. I've got a lot going on today, but I should be able to catch some of that one. The Colorado Dallas, there's no shot that I catch that one, which sucks because
Sad.
that's the better game.
It is. It's going to be hype.
St. Louis, I've got Winnipeg for the day, especially in Winnipeg. I don't think it's going to be a sweep, but I think Winnipeg's going to come out strong.
Yeah, Winnipeg.
Okay. Okay, Colorado Dallas.
I think Colorado upsets game 1.
In Dallas, okay.
Yep.
I'm going to give the home team game 1 again here.
I think Dallas will take game 2, but I think Colorado is a little more hungry. Dallas is a little worried. They're shivering in the knickers.
I don't think you're
A
necessarily
little too
wrong.
clenched.
Either way.
A little too clenched.
Devils at Canes.
Oh, Canes.
You taking the Canes? Okay. I am taking Carolina as well. Ottawa, Toronto.
Ottawa.
Really though?
I think Toronto's going to come in a little overconfident. Ottawa's going to score that first goal, and then all of a sudden the panic sets in, and they just kind of scramble, and they're unsure, and then they make a push, and they take the lead, but then Ottawa's like, and then no. And then I think Ottawa takes game 1.
The worst part is so do I. So we're down to Minnesota and the Knights.
Vegas. Give me Vegas.
Oh boy. We may need to go through game 1 of every series here, because out of those 5 games, we agreed on them.
Well,
so
that or we give we say by how many goals.
Montreal at what? There's no way we're guessing those. Come on now.
Well,
Montreal,
it's just whoever's closer. That's how we get a point for each game that we agree on. Like either predict the score or predict by how many goals.
Like, are you saying how many goals scored total, or like this team won by 3 goals?
Either or. Or like predict the score where it's like it was 5-3 or it was 2-4.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we just guess total number of goals scored?
Okay.
Without going over.
Okay.
I don't know why the without going over is a thing, but that's a thing in like every prediction ever.
I think it's because of the Price is Right.
Okay, probably. So there's 4 games. We'll let you predict the score first. I'll do second, you do third, I do fourth. That way we each get 2 of them that we're responding.
Okay. So I'm doing
Winnipeg,
the St. Louis Winnipeg first.
How many goals total?
I'm going to say 5.
5. Okay. Game 1 in St. Louis.
In Winnipeg.
Or no.
Why would it be
It
in
is
St. Louis?
definitely wrong.
Why would game 1 be in St. Louis?
Because I wrote down Winnipeg at St. Louis.
Oh.
Therefore accurate.
No, well,
Uh,
you've now magically changed it. Now St. Louis has home ice advantage over the President's Trophy winner.
They got about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to St. Louis from Winnipeg here. I'm taking 2 goals in that game.
2 goals. Sheesh. 2-0 victory.
Low scoring. Yeah.
A shutout for Hellebuck in game 1. Wow.
And I don't want to just do if he went 5, I'm going to go 1 because that's like the strategy. That's boring.
No,
like I'm taking.
I mean, the strategy there would be like to be 4 or 6.
Well,
No,
if
6
I take
actually.
1,
But 6 would be the strategy if you think it's going to be high scoring, because then.
But if I took 1 goal, then if it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, then I win.
That's fine. I mean, I have no issue with that. That's the perk of getting to go second, right? Like you can do that.
New Jersey.
It's the cup. It doesn't matter if it's lame or not. What matters is that you win. You're here to win.
Wrong. I have honor.
Well, and that's why you're not going to win the Stanley Cup.
New Jersey at Carolina.
How else do you think Florida has won 4 out of the last 5 years, or 4 out of the last 6 years?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Or no, just 3 out of the last 5. Never mind. I can count.
I'm
just
giving
Florida
6
who's
goals to New Jersey and Carolina game.
Oh, that one's. Wait. Oh. Am I going first on that one too? Is that my other first one?
First. And I'm giving it 6 goals.
Oh, you're giving it 6. Oh. Oh, you.
I think it's a 4-2 victory there.
See, I could see it being like 7, 8, 9 goals for game 1.
Yeah.
And so this is what I'm choosing. Do I match your honor and say 8? Say 8. Or do I go 7 to not give you any buffer room? I hate that I'm doing this because hey, I should be saying 7. I'll say 8. I'll say 8. I'll say 8 out of respect because we're at the start of the playoffs and it's fresh and I don't have to win yet. If I was behind and I had to catch up, I'd be saying 7 all day. Okay. But I'll say 8 out of respect. We'll leave it on the ice for now. We don't have to get feisty off the ice just yet.
Ottawa, Toronto.
I am going to say 4.
4? Okay. And you put me in a hard spot.
The perks of going
because I had
first.
a number in my head. Huh?
The perks of going first is now I get to mess up your plans.
Well, sort of. All you did was mess up the fact that I'm not doing this to be dishonorable, but
no, I know you're allowed to. If you say 3 or 5, there's nothing wrong with that. Or 1.
Took 5.
5, that's just fine.
Minnesota at Vegas. This one's me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 5 here as well. And it's going to be a 5-0 shutout.
Whoa. I'll give you, if you're right, I'll give you double points.
Oh, okay.
For that. Yeah. If you're right, you get double points. But in compensation for that, I'm saying 1 goal.
Oh, that's just messed up.
Hey, I'm paying a price for it, okay? I'm letting you have a double or nothing opportunity. But I get favorable odds. That's fair.
That's fair.
Them's the betting breaks there, bud.
it can be two things at once. That can be messed up, but also completely fair.
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, playoffs. We got 2 games today, 3 games tomorrow. It's time. I can't believe we're here already.
It's go
But it is
time, baby.
So get out there, watch some hockey. Until then, we will review. I don't think no series will be over. Even on a sweep, I don't think any series will be over by this time next week. So we will review how
Unlikely.
we are doing in the first series
Yeah.
and how close some of those are next week. Till
Okay.
then, we'll see you later.
Bye bye.